and welcome back to my channel here at Dragonairs Club. I hope you're all doing well. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is actually a Tarantula Sling update video. So it's roughly been about 3 months now since I released the very first Tarantula Sling unboxing video. So I thought this would be a really good point to stop and just show you guys the slings, give you a good update on them, see how they've progressed, and then we're going to try and feed them as well. I don't know how many of them will eat. It can be a little bit hit and miss with slings, but we're going to give it a go. I've got a pretty decent number of them to feed, so there are also a couple of slings in my collection that you guys don't know about as well, so that could be a quite a nice surprise for you guys to see what else I've got in the collection. So yeah, that's going to be in today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Obviously, if you do, please drop a like and a subscribe, as it really does help the channel. Right guys, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so let's get this feeding started. So, these are all the slings that we're going to be trying to feed. I'm imagining that they're not all going to feed. Some of them in here are so small that they're not going to be fed these. We're going to be feeding them fruit flies instead. Some of them may well still have fruit flies in. So there's a lot in these in particular that I'm imagining probably won't eat. But most of these, all in these, will likely take some food. So we've got our mealworms here. Basically what I do, I try and order the smallest ones. I order micro mealworms. It doesn't take them long for them to grow, so I'm literally I keep trying to pick out just the smallest ones to feed the slings. Some of them are absolutely fine. When they get to about 3-4 centimeters, they're absolutely fine to just take an adult one, that's no problem. But obviously when they're still quite small and you're transitioning them from, say, one of these tubes into their next size up, they can still be a little bit small, around 2 centimeters, so I try to just feed them the smallest mealworms that I can find. But yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 slings here to try and feed, so this may be a hefty video, I don't know. Right, let's get this started. Alright, so we're going to get started now with feeding all, how many was it, 17 tarantula slings. So first thing what we need to do is pick out enough mealworms to feed them all, and they all need to be roughly a smaller size. So as you can see, this one is pretty much a beast. That's going to be too big to feed my slings at the moment, so we're looking for ones like this, the small ones. Just going to put them into a separate tub. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, so we got our mealworms all ready to go, so I think we're just going to start left to right, so let's get straight into it. So first up we've got the D. diamantinensis. So this is a species from Brazil. It's a terrestrial species. Leg span's roughly around about 12 centimeters. This species in particular likes humidity of around 70 to 80%. So this is typically where she sits, literally right in here, and I'll sometimes see her little legs poking out here. Rare occasions she is sitting out, but is really not being, she hasn't done that much at all, maybe 3 times tops in the last sort of 3-ish months, so yeah, very secretive little tea. I can't imagine we're going to get an immediate response from her, so I'm going to leave that as is. We'll move on to the next one, and then we will come back to her, and hopefully we'll be able to get some footage of her. Alright, so just had a little play around with the camera to try and get you guys the best view here. So we've moved on now to the green bottle blue. This is number 2. So this is a species that was found in Venezuela. They are semi-arboreal, so typically they're classed as a terrestrial species, but they do like to spend quite a lot of time off the ground, and that's typically why a lot of people who own them will class them as a semi-arboreal species. So if you can give them the option to climb up, they'll be quite appreciative of that. So this species grows to around they have about 16 centimeter leg span. And we're gonna see if she's hungry. So as you can see, with this green bottle blue sling, her abdomen is looking relatively full, so she is probably gonna molt soon, but I'm just gonna see. whether or not she fancies something to eat. If she doesn't, that's a pretty good indicator that she is going to go into molt soon. Okay, I think that's probably a no. Yeah, it's a no. Fine, fair enough. So she is likely, if she's refused her food, she's likely going to go into her molt soon. So I'm just going to leave her be. Give her a little bit of a spritz. It's always good to keep the humidity up, especially around the points where they're going to be molting. And through the molt. And we're going to leave her be. She has grown on a fair bit though, since the last time I showed you her, which I think was probably the unboxing video actually. You can see she's webbed up a fair bit more since the last time. She's done all this top webbing now up here, along down to the ground. Alright, so this is the green bottle blue sling. As predicted, she has successfully molted. And she's looking beautiful. So let's move on now. Let's go to the tea rasty. This is hers. So I've had her roughly 2, maybe 3 weeks now, I think. 2-3 weeks. And in that time, she's done some, well, you can definitely tell she's been busy anyway. She's webbed all the back of her cork bark, and she's actually made a very small little den right at the very bottom. She's not the biggest eater, this one, but we'll see. She's again one of those ones that she typically likes it left for her, and she'll just come to it when she wants. So anyway, yeah, so this is the tea rasty. This species is an arboreal species, and they are from Peru. They typically have about 10 centimeter leg span, and they're just generally very quick movers. I've got quite a lot of fast ones in my collection of Tarantula slings. And she's made like a lovely web tunnel right at the back. And she just likes to sit in there, barely comes out. Right, I'll pop her back over here. If I see her coming out to eat, then I'll bring her back. Alright, so let's try and go for one that definitely will eat. So I think... right, let's go for the purple pink toe. Try and lift you guys up a little bit more. Right, so this girl has grown on quite a bit, so I'm quite excited to show you guys the progress with this one. Hopefully she will eat. She's quite a voracious eater, doesn't usually say no to food, and sometimes I'm just lifting off the lid, she'll start to come out, and that's a pretty good indicator that she's ready for food. Other times she'll literally just be sitting like straight on top of her cork bark, like, feed me now. But yeah, this is another arboreal species. They have roughly a 10 centimeter leg span. They can move quick, as you've seen, but generally speaking, they're quite a docile species, really. But these are absolutely beautiful, especially when they're adults. Nice stunning purple colour. Right. I'm going to try and get her to come out for us. Give you guys an over the top view. Best view in the house. Alright. See now. I'm not just going to drop it in because sometimes I can lure her out just by the vibrations. Yeah, here we go. I think she's coming. Coming? Yeah. Yeah, she's hungry. There she is. Isn't she pretty? You can have it. Thank you for that. Way, we got one. So she's just here. She's got a beautiful striped bum. Hopefully you can see that. But these guys are brilliant eaters. They're really fun. I love feeding her. I wasn't sure if I was going to on our initial encounter together, but no, honestly, this species is so much fun. It's potentially even going to be my favourite. I don't know. It's pretty up there for me at the moment. Lovely. Right, let's move on. Oh shit. Oh, that didn't go well. Oh. See if she's hungry now. Yep. Oh, goodness me, she took that, didn't she? Look at her. Look how much she's grown already. It's crazy. So I've also got the Vicilia verata. This one I'm not going to feed because she is quite literally just come out of a molt and her fangs are still white, so I won't be feeding her today, but I want to see if we could maybe get some snaps of her, even though you've recently seen her anyway. She's one of my newest members. Oh yeah, here she is. I'm going to dry this lid off as well a little bit. This is her right here on the wood. Isn't she beautiful? That contrast of pink and blue is so lovely. So this is a species from Brazil. It is an arboreal species and they typically have about a 20 centimeter leg span. What's quite unique about these guys is that if you tamper with them too much, as a defense mechanism, they can shoot their own poop at you. So that's going to be fun to experience in the future. Alright. But yeah, really lovely species to own. Not too crazy at all. Relatively docile actually. Typically if you go to feed, and this goes for any tarantula sling, if you try and encourage food too early after a molt when their fangs haven't properly hardened, what you can actually cause if they do actually make contact with the prey is for them to bleed from their mouths. Then they will literally start hemorrhaging and it's pretty much game over from that point. So you just want to be very mindful of that and not encourage food too early. I typically wait like a good 5 to 7 days before I start encouraging them to eat again. She's made some effort to web just on the corner here. I did shift the wood back because I wasn't convinced she could actually get into this or over the top of it when I had the lid on, so I've moved it. She has been behind a fair bit and it doesn't look like she's actually tried to web behind yet, but I mean it's early days, so just gonna leave her in peace and she can just crack on. She's been busy trying to molt anyway, so there we are. Just gonna leave her to it and get comfortable. Oh dear. Alright, let's move on to another potentially crazy fun one, shall we? So I've actually got the cup ready specifically just for this one. So I know you guys have seen this one if you saw my last video. So this is the Darth Maul. I don't think I'm going to feed this one just like I did with the purple pink toe. I'll likely just throw it in because I don't trust this one yet. I know where I am with the purple pink toe, you know, we've got a good understanding. Us two here, we're not on the same wavelength yet, me and this Darth Maul, so I think we're gonna take it quite easy. She's literally, I refer to all of my spiders as she's, I don't know why, I just do that. But this tea is literally here, just waiting for me. So I'm imagining she is hungry, but I also don't want her to bolt. I don't know why I feel like this one. She's probably just gonna run as soon as I... Oh, she's not there. I thought I saw her at the top. Alright, fair enough. So this one's worked ridiculously hard. So over the, well, how long have I had this one? 2 weeks, I think. About the same amount of time as the Variegatus thing. So this one's worked insanely hard. And hopefully you can see everything apart from that beautiful clear tube right here is all webbed up. So all I'm going to literally do, because I'm not faffing around with this one, I'm just going to drop a worm in. And she's probably one of my biggest, if not the biggest sling. She may well be on par with my purple paint toe at the moment, so she can have a fairly decent worm. I don't know if we're really going to see anything, because all of this, and I'll show you this in a second, everything on the side here has been completely webbed up and then gone over with substrate, so I cannot see in at all. She's made it very dark for herself in there, so fair play. She's done really well. I'm just going to drop a worm in. Hopefully she is hungry enough to eat it. Oh, she's grabbed it. I just saw the glimpse then. Yeah, she's taken it all the way into the back. So, well, she's definitely eating. That's always reassuring. So yeah, this is my Darth Maul tea, otherwise known as a Pseudhapalopus victorii. They're incredibly fast slings, faster than probably what I was expecting. They have around about a 15 centimeter leg span. This is a species that is from Mexico. Again, it is an arboreal species. So what's quite unique to this arboreal species is that whereas a lot of them will sort of web right behind the cork bark, and they'll be quite happy like that, this species tends to actually make a burrow at the bottom of the cork bark. But this is something that they typically only do as slings. Right, fine. Let's move on. Alright, let's move on to more of the voracious eaters. Right, this one and the next 3 or 4, they're going to give us a good show. So this one, I need to get 2 of them mixed up, hang on. And the simple reason is because I haven't labelled them yet. Right, so let's have a little look real quick. I think this one is the Fius species Eoratus that I've got here. These guys get pretty big. So these guys have about a 20 centimeter leg span. They are voracious eaters. I've got 2 Fius species. So I've got the Dom Purple over here and the Eoratus in this one. Yeah, both of them grow quite big. A species from Cuba, and I've never had a problem feeding these guys ever. Like, and the slings, they're generally really beautiful, so hopefully we can get quite a lot of footage. And I'm looking forward to rehousing this one in particular because what she's in is really annoying. Sorry, there we go. There she is. Hopefully you can see. Let's zoom her in a bit. There we go. Nice shiny bum on show. Alright. So I have yet to see them turn down a meal, so let's see. No way. They're the abdomen is looking quite big. She might be about to molt. Nope, she's not interested. Wow, I cannot believe that. Okay, well that's fine. I have other footage of her eating anyway, because like I said, she's a voracious eater generally. So I'm just gonna cut to that now. Yeah. Tiny, but voracious. Alright, so let's move on to the Fius species Dawn Purple. She's poked herself up already. There she is. She's telling me, I'm hungry, let's go, need food. So the Fius species Dawn Purple, I'm just going to say this quickly, that as a sling, they're absolutely lovely, you know, generally relatively calm. They just find themselves a place to hunker down and they just self-manage. When they are adults, they get crazy and anything can generally set them off and they start to get very flighty. Even just like gently blowing on them when you're talking will just set them off and they'll just go running. There she is, look at her. Absolutely beautiful. If I get my torch a second. There she is. Isn't she gorgeous? Right, so this is the Grammostola rosea. So let's take a look at her and see if she wants to eat something. There she is, just about emerging right here. She almost always escapes when I try and feed her, mostly because I've put the substrate too high and her house is, yeah. She just basically, as soon as she walks out, she's basically out. So, there we go. But this is a species, so this one's from Chile. It's a terrestrial species. Generally speaking, they're quite, as you can see, they're quite good eaters. Relatively docile in nature. This is probably one of the species I would definitely recommend for a beginner. They just have a generally all-round nice temperament, and they're quite an interesting one as well, I think, for a beginner, because they do grow to a fairly decent size. They grow to like between like 11 and 15 centimeter leg span, so they got a decent amount of size on them as well. But they're just generally very docile spiders, you know. There's nothing really not to like. They're very beautiful as well. They're nice and fluffy. So yeah, just a very attractive, docile species. So if you're looking for your first tea, this is probably the one I would recommend. You want them? Yeah, she wants them. Oh, shit. Oh no. Oh, look at her, she's flicking. She's doing baby flicks. Right. Up we come. Yeah. What are you doing? No. Come on. Can you come? That's enough of that. Come on. You got food, look, right here. No. 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 Good girl. Go on, go back in your burrow. I'm sorry I annoyed you. There you go. Right, let's go for the T. Kallenbergi. This is probably another one actually. So this is a species that's from Mexico. They grow to roughly 16 centimeters in leg span. They are a terrestrial species, but again, they're relatively docile, so just an all-round lovely species. I think they're absolutely beautiful, especially when they're adults as well. Hopefully. Where is she now? They make them these lovely houses, and they choose to go everywhere but. So she's gone down here in this right corner. I think she may have molted recently. Fair enough. Right, okay. So I'm probably not even going to feed her. It'd be nice to just see her though, now she's molted. See what she actually looks like. So that is her molt. Little sling molt. So I'm just having to hold this one up to the light. She's quite difficult to see. She came out and then as soon as I went to pick her up she's bolted, so she's just slowly disappearing into her hide. But that's the T. Kallenbergi, freshly molted. That's about as good as we're gonna get for now. But she's looking good. Her abdomen's nowhere near as potato-like as it was. It's a little bit more fluffy actually, I'd say, so yeah, a couple of days and she'll be having a feed. Alright, so this is the Carabina lighter sling. Here she is, looking absolutely beautiful. Oh, hang on. She's recently molted as well. Oh my gosh, what is all of this? Oh, okay, well, yoink. And that colour on her is stunning. A beautiful iridescent blue, and it's really difficult to pick it up, but she does have like a beautiful turquoise colour as well running through that abdomen. Gorgeous little sling. And you can just see like there's little tiger marks on her abdomen there as well. Oh, beautiful. Alright, so moving on, we have our yellow bottled blue sling. So this is a species from Colombia. It is a terrestrial species. They like fairly high humidity, around 70 to 80%. But they are a relatively docile species to keep. Very, very beautiful, especially when adults. They don't grow very big. Leg spans around about 8 centimeters. Ooh, escapee. No. These flies, honestly, they're a nightmare. It's harder to feed the tarantula slings, these flies, than it is the jumping spiders. Gotcha. In you go. That was like some Mr. Miyagi action right there. Right, so it's quite difficult to make the colour out on these slings, but as they mature out, they do... Oh, she's doing little flicks there. How cute is that? It's so cute when they're tiny and they flick. As they sort of mature out, then their colours start to really come through. So this one will be predominantly yellow, hence the name. But they also get these beautiful deep blue legs, and then this like an iridescent orange tuft of hair between the thorax and the abdomen. So yeah, very beautiful species to keep. Alright, so we're going to move on now to the pumpkin patch slings. This is a species from Colombia. It is a dwarf species, so they don't grow very big, but they are beautiful, a really lovely species. So these have roughly a 7 centimeter leg span. They are a terrestrial species, but generally they're very chill. So again, if you're a beginner, this is an excellent species. She was out, but as soon as I lifted this up, she's basically bolted into her little burrow. Yeah, as you can see, she's recently molted. She's got a molt just sat on that piece of wood. I did move her from the little round tub I had her in into this, just so I could keep better track of her. I just couldn't see her at all in that one. I didn't know how well she was doing, so I moved her into this, and it's so much easier to see her eating and everything. Making sure she is actually eating and molting correctly. I can only just see her legs, so we're not going to really get much of a footage of her, unfortunately. If she comes back out later, then I'll try and show you guys, because she's very cute. She's grown a little bit since first unboxing her, so it'd be lovely to actually be able to show you guys that one. Alright, so we're going to move on now to the Chilean Flame. Again, a beautiful species. I'm quite biased, I'm basically going to say that about everything. So this is a species from Chile. They are terrestrial species. They don't grow much bigger than, say, the yellow-blue bottles tarantulas, to be honest. They have about an 8 centimeter leg span, these ones. Again, relatively docile. The only thing with these ones is they are a bit more on the pricey side. So these at the moment are about anywhere between 50 and 60 pounds per sling. So if you're not looking to spend out that much on a sling, I probably wouldn't recommend these ones, but you know, for me the reward is getting to see them grow, and then when they mature out, seeing those final colours, it's like the ultimate reward, really. You know, this isn't a pet that you get to handle, it's one that you get to watch it develop and grow and do really well. So with these tube ones, I don't think we're honestly going to get to see very much. It's not until they're bigger, really, that I'm really going to be able to show you. So at the moment, all I'm really showing you is tubes with dirt in, unfortunately. The arboreal ones are much better, you can always see those, but the terrestrial ones, they just like to burrow when they're this small, so you just don't really see them. Sometimes you'll see the odd burrow like on the side, but none of these ones have actually done that. They all seem to have just gone straight under something, so you just got no chance of really finding them. So moving on, we've got the Eora Diversipes. I hope I'm saying that right. This is a species from Brazil. These have about a 10 to 12 centimeter leg span, so a little bit bigger. They are an arboreal species, but again, relatively docile. So oh, this one blows me away every time I look at her. They look like little bits of like Christmas tinsel when they're small, but when she's like proper fanned out, when you can really see her thorax and you see those little bits of red that pop through, oh, absolutely stunning. Beautiful, beautiful species. Big fan. I can't actually remember how much I paid for this one. I think it was about £25–30, so not bad at all. Anywhere sort of upwards of £30, I've got to pretty much really want it to buy it, but yeah. She is stunning. What I might actually do, bear with me, I'm just going to grab my torch and we'll see if we can just get those colours to pop a bit more. Alright, I'm back with L-Torch. That's better. There we go. Look at that. They look like little fluffy crystals. Beautiful. There's so many different colours on these ones. You can see she's recently molted as well. She's got like a little blue tuft next to her, so again, not going to be feeding this one. That's quite interesting. So this is the... I keep wanting to call this one the Nandu chromatus, but its name has actually changed. Thank you to the person that actually let me know, because I would have just continued to call it, but it's not the Nandu chromatus anymore. It is the Vicilia chromatus. So this is a species from Brazil. It's a terrestrial species. They grow quite big. So leg span on these guys, roughly about 20 centimeters, and they have a generally very hardy disposition, but they are very flicky as well. So that's pretty much their first defense, is just to flick. Let's see where you're at. She's literally on the floor of this tube. You can see the hole there, and she's like right at the far end. So I'm not going to be able to show you, because obviously I can't tip it up without everything coming out, and that's just going to put unnecessary risk on the spider. So there is my jar of dirt. There is a spider in it. So it's just another one of those, you know, as she grows, we'll be able to get a lot more footage. But I will try and find some footage that I have taken of this species to just give you guys an inkling of what the spiderlings look like. And then we'll just track them as they grow. Tarantula. So this is the Pseudhapalopus species blue. Originates in Colombia. It's got about a 6 centimeter leg span, so it doesn't grow very big, but it is relatively docile in nature. It's a terrestrial species and likes fairly high humidity, around 70 to 80%. I'd say this is probably another species that would be amazing for any new tarantula keepers as well. Personally, I think this is a massively underrated tarantula. When they have fully matured, they are really, really beautiful tarantulas. But you don't really see many people showing off this species. Yeah, personally, I really like this tarantula. I think it's just overall stunning. There's nothing really not to like about it. This marks the end of this feeding video. I hope you all really enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye guys!